Welcome back. All right, so as I continue to look at my favorite players from various teams around the National Hockey League, today we settle on the Carolina Hurricanes. That's right, and for people paying attention to the clock in the background, yeah, I'm recording a lot of videos today. As I pre-record, getting ready for vacation, and I have a whole bunch more videos I have yet to record. So fingers crossed I get all this done in time. I don't want to have to load whiteboards and everything onto an Air France flight because they're not going to let me do that. Number 20 in talking about the Carolina Hurricanes and my favorite players to play for them, with an honorable mention to Brett Hedican. Brett Hedican, good defenseman for them. But number 20, Jaylen Chatfield. Jaylen Chatfield, of course, started out with the Vancouver Canucks. Couldn't get a regular spot on the Vancouver Canucks blue line, goes to Carolina and becomes an excellent blue liner. The Carolina Hurricanes have some very good coaches and some very good pro scouts. Clearly, they saw something in Chatfield, and it's worked out pretty well. He's not going to make you forget a guy like Slavin or Pesce or anything, but he's a very good defenseman. And so, yeah, Chatfield, number 20 on the board. Number 19. More known now for talking about the Maple Leafs on TV, but Jeff O'Neill was a pretty good player in his career. He was. Jeff O'Neill had a good career. Probably didn't end up being as long as it could have been, but he had a good career. He was a very good player. He was a good goal scorer and a pretty top-notch talent. So number 19 on the board for me is Jeff O'Neill. Number 18, current member of the team as well as Chatfield, Jordan Martinook. Jordan Martinook has got to where he's got in the National Hockey League via the hard work. Third line player mostly, but he does score some key goals for the Carolina Hurricanes. He's one of the leaders in their locker room, an excellent veteran, and I think there are 32 GMs that would be quite happy to have him on their team. One of them being the GM that does have him on their team. So yeah, for me, Jordan Martinook, really good player, and probably a bit underrated by people who don't watch the Carolina Hurricanes regularly. Number 17. One of the feel-good stories of the late 90s was the return of Gary Roberts, and it was Carolina he made that return with. His career was seen as finished. He was done, and he came back and he played. Gary Roberts is still helping players with conditioning and with injury recovery. Roberts has become really a guru in that area, and rightfully so. And I think it starts here. I think it starts with him coming back and playing when nobody expected him to be able to come back and play. Roberts would be higher on the list if he'd played more games for Carolina, but yeah, number 17 for Gary Roberts. Number 16, player who got better as he got older, Ray Whitney. One of those players who just defied the aging process, decided, I'm not interested in aging, I'm just going to keep getting better. And his coaches, and I'm sure his teammates were quite happy with that setup. Ray Whitney, good player, and I could go through all the superlatives again with this player. Top six forward, absolutely. Played for a very long time. I think I've got him in the THG Hall of Fame. I think I do. If I don't, he belongs there. But yeah, number 16, Ray Whitney of the Carolina Hurricanes. Number 15, a current member of the team as well, Seth Jarvis. Seth Jarvis is going to be one of the best wingers in the National Hockey League. He's listed as a center, though, by the NHL site. So when he didn't get an honorable mention, it was because I was considering putting... I don't think I gave him an honorable mention, but it was because I was considering, well, he's a center, so he doesn't get an honorable mention at center, and then I saw him on the wingers list. Anyways, Seth Jarvis, whether he ends up being a center later on in his career, we'll see. But either way, he's a really good competitive player, a lot of talent, and his best days are still ahead of him. So number 15 on the list is Seth Jarvis. Number 14, he's no longer with the team, but fun to watch when he was there. Marty Necas. So he was traded out in the Rantanen deal. Of course, now they have Stankoven on the team. Stankoven is not on the list. He has not played anywhere near enough games for Carolina for me to put him on the list. But next time out, 5 years from now, he's going on the list. But Marty Necas belongs on the list. Talented forward. At times underrated because he played in Carolina, and I think other players overshadowed him a little bit. But Necas is a very good forward in his own right, as Colorado fans found out when he arrived there. Number 13. I always get frustrated with Svechnikov. There's two things that frustrate me with Svechnikov. First, he does take a lot of penalties. And I know there are Canes fans that feel like he's not favored by the officials, and so he gets penalties others wouldn't. That's not really how I see it. He takes a lot of penalties. But the other thing that I find frustrating is he is capable of so much more offensively. I feel like he's toying with us, and at some point in time, he's going to go out there and say, all right, I've toyed with people enough, and he's going to have a 50-goal year. Like, he has that level of talent. He has that shot. I know there are people who will not agree with me on that, but Svechnikov has all the talent in the world, and it's just a matter of finding that consistency and just having that 1 year where everything falls in place. And I think he's young enough. I still think that's going to happen for him. Number 12 on the list. No longer a member of the team, but I mean, every time he got a point, the way his name was announced was great. Teuvo, Teravainen. Teravainen, good player, top 6 forward, good passer. Better passer than shooter, but decent shot as well. And I've appreciated his game. It felt like they kind of stole him when they got him, and now he's back in Chicago. But Teravainen gave them some very good years. He was a good forward for them, so he's number 12 on my list. Number 11, a defenseman who I did not have on the Bruins list, but Glen Wesley's on this list. Glen Wesley, he was, as he got older, as he became more and more of a veteran, his game changed, and he managed to stay in the National Hockey League. He managed to still be an effective defenseman in the NHL as he got older and his game changed. Sometimes the puck wasn't on his stick quite as often and he wasn't getting as many points, but he was still effective. Glen Wesley played for a very long time. Really appreciated him a lot. And as a Bruins fan, I was glad to see that he had a good career in Carolina. I wished it was still in Boston, but hey. Number 10 on the list, goaltender, Cam Ward. Cam Ward had a career in Carolina that started with that run in 2006 to the Stanley Cup and the victory. And after that, he was virtually untouchable in the eyes of Carolina fans. The example I would use now would be Jordan Binnington. Jordan Binnington wins the Cup in 2019, and to this day, Blues fans are like, nope, one of the best goalies in the league. And anytime that I don't talk about him as highly, I will get told, hey, he won the Cup in 2019. Cam Ward was very much a similar situation, where if I didn't feel like Ward had been that great that year, that would get brought up of, hey, 2006, he won the Stanley Cup. And they were right. Cam Ward had a very good career in Carolina, and he's number 10 on the list. Number 9. The 2006 Stanley Cup doesn't happen without Cam Ward, but it also doesn't happen without Eric Staal. Staal had a very good career that started in Carolina, played his best seasons there, had his most productive seasons there too. That 2005-06 season was his 100-point season that he had, and honestly, he was a very talented player who even later on in his career, I felt like he was still effective, even though his offense wasn't at that same level. I felt like he was still an effective forward. His last name's Staal, you know you're getting an honest shift out of him. Number 8. No longer there, but Brett Pesce was a favorite of mine with the Carolina Hurricanes. Feels like it'd be wrong not to have Pesce in the top 20. So he's number 8. Good defensive defenseman. A little bit of offense there as well. Not in the same league as Jaccob Slavin, but who is? So, yeah, Brett Pesce, number 8 on my list. Now he's playing for New Jersey, and I think he's been good for New Jersey since he got there as well. Number 7. Been talking about this guy lately, haven't I? Justin Williams. Mr. Game 7. Great playoff performer. And Justin Williams was excellent for the Carolina Hurricanes when he was there. So Justin Williams is the kind of player that it feels like they need now in the conference final when they get there. He is a player who had great playoff stats, and that's something that makes you a hero to everybody. If you have those great playoff stats, you can be forgiven for having maybe not the greatest of regular season stats, right? So Williams, number 7. Number 6. So I'm wearing a jersey with the name on it, so you knew this name was coming. And I'm aware Gelinas never wore this jersey, but it's fine. Marty Gelinas was a player that I was very mad when the Canucks didn't keep him. And so I really rooted for him heavily when he was in Carolina. I rooted for him no matter where he was after Vancouver. Marty Gelinas, the efforts there, good third liner, could play top 6 when needed in the event of an injury, and he had some very good seasons with the Carolina Hurricanes. So number 6 on the list for me with Marty Gelinas. Number 5, current player on the team, and becomes more and more of a favorite of mine every year. Jordan Staal, at this stage, you don't get much in the way of offense, but his defensive game is fantastic. He was a finalist for the Selke last year, right? So Jordan Staal, as he gets older, he is still finding a way to shut down opposing forwards, and he's playing really solid hockey. So Jordan Staal, for me, number 5 on the list. And, yeah, might end up being one of those numbers that gets retired by the team. He's been there so long, I would not be surprised if they retire Staal's number when he is done in the National Hockey League. Number 4, another goalie. You knew he was coming. Arturs Irbe. So I mentioned Gelinas. Yeah, Irbe. The Canucks, he's short. It doesn't matter. He's good. They went to Carolina, and they go all the way to a Stanley Cup final because he's good. Archie, as he was affectionately known, Arturs Irbe, a goaltender that I was a fan of from day one when he was in San Jose, and I was a fan of his throughout his career, and he put up some very good seasons with Carolina, and like I said, they get all the way to the Stanley Cup final in 2002. I was really rooting for him, but yeah, that Detroit team was pretty good, wasn't it? Number 3 on the list, current player. I see some criticism of his game, but I still don't think we've seen the best of Sebastian Aho. I think the best of Sebastian Aho is yet to come. So Aho, for me, at number 3 makes a lot of sense. He is now committed long-term to the Carolina Hurricanes, and I think that Aho is a fantastic player. I do. I honestly feel like Sebastian Aho, the best is probably yet to come for him as well. And that's one thing that, I mean, maybe it's just the optimist with me, but I do feel like while Carolina's had success in the playoffs, they just haven't quite got over the hump in that Final Four position in the conference final. I still think they have a team that can do it. So here's to hoping that happens. Number 2, not against Boston. I appreciate it, not against Boston. Number 2, I still believe that Rod Brind'Amour, who's currently the coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, at any point in time could just go into the locker room, put on a jersey, come out with the equipment on, go on the ice, and get the job done. And I'm waiting for the day that he says, you know what? That's it. I'm so fed up with this crap. I'll do it. I'll do it. And he just takes a stick, maybe just while wearing a suit behind the bench. He just straps on a pair of skates, grabs a stick, and goes, I'll do it. Gets out on the ice and does it. Goes out and scores a goal, throws a big hit. Brind'Amour is still a play. He looks like he can play. So, a lot of credit to Brind'Amour, too, for being a player that as he got older, he got better. I thought he played some of his best hockey when he was well over 30. So, Brind'Amour for me, number 2. Which brings us to number 1. This will not surprise people at all. I have been a massive fan of Jaccob Slavin's game since I started watching all the hockey games as part of, being the hockey guy and posting videos on this channel on the daily. Jaccob Slavin has earned a ton of respect from me. And I think that with Slavin, he is very likely underrated. I had him on my top 20 defensemen. Do I underrate him a little bit? Maybe. Because the offensive side of his game isn't as strong as some of the others that I have rated ahead of him. But in terms of a shutdown defenseman, he's fantastic. And then the really impressive part with Slavin is he does it without going to the box. He does not take penalties. He does it clean. And I don't know how many times I've seen that where you have a really good defensive defenseman who shuts the other team down without taking penalties. He is a rarity. He is kind of a unicorn that way. And he's number 1 on my list. So there you go. Carolina, and I'm done with this for tonight. So I'm 8 days ahead now on this, 8 days ahead on my jersey countdown videos, and next up I have to get myself going on the season previews and all that, and then I've got other videos I have to record as well. So I just have a lot of work to do, but I got some of these in, and I wanted to get Carolina done, which means the next one is Hartford. So let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated, especially during the summer when nobody's thinking about hockey. So I make list videos. It's fun. We talk about these players, and you guys can let me know why I'm wrong about my favorite players. One of my favorite things is being told that my favorites are wrong. It's so weird, and yet it's funny. Thanks for your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.